Okay, so the game today looks a bit different. There we go. I'm in a different spot. First of all, I'm usually on the bottom. and I don't know why, like, I don't even look at OBS when I stream, really. Like, I mean, I check on it, obviously, but I feel weird. I feel like I am in a different place because I know that I technically am in a different place because I'm so used to being on the bottom. And the other thing is, this game in general is just different. It's totally unlike anything I've played on stream before, from what I know of it. First of all, it's an interactive story, which we've kind of done before with like the Walking Dead games, you know, where you make choices that impact stuff in the game. The part where it gets different is it's literally like a choose your own adventure, in the sense that I will be reading you the story instead of us watching the story and I make choices. I will be reading you the story and making choices, which is different, very different. I'm nervous to just sit here and talk, just read for however long I play this for. This is very kind of like a nerve-wracking kind of thing. So if you don't like my voice, I'm very sorry, because I look taller because I'm way up here now. It is weird, isn't it? It's very different for me. It feels very strange. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. This is just the... Oh, it's not even showing it. Oh, there it goes. So, I tried to find the best place. I watched a little bit of this game so that I could figure out how I wanted to set up how I was going to stream it. That being said, I know that my camera is going to cover part of the text, but because I'm reading it, you're not really going to miss anything, because all the important stuff, as you can see, the selections are at the bottom. So, you know, I wanted you guys to be able to read the options, but, you know, I mean, I'm going to be reading the text, so for the most part, I think you'll be able to read along fine. What I have seen of it is it scrolls up from the bottom anyways, so, you know, unless you get really behind, you know, you're not going to really miss anything, which is why I moved myself to the top, because it was like the least intrusive place for me to be. This story is 5 chapters. I have no idea how long it's going to take me to get through the chapters. There is a little bit of sound to this game. Obviously not right now on the loading screen. It's completely silent. I don't hear anything, but it does have sound. So when we get in the first chapter, I'll be tweaking that a little bit, so that you guys can hear it too, because this is still atmospheric. Even though there's no like action, there's nothing to really watch. There's sound to it, which really creates the atmosphere because it changes, you know, with each section. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm nervous. I got so much water here because I know I'm gonna be talking a lot. Okay, deep breaths, Cuppy. Let's do this. Buried is an interactive story. The plot will change based on the choices you make. The story is broken into 5 chapters. Play straight through or at your own pace. There's no waiting and no pauses. Enjoy and choose wisely. The other thing I don't know is how saving in this game, like, I don't know if it like saves at each chapter or if you're able to save, because I've opened this game at one point and obviously I'm still back at the starting screen, so I don't know how that's gonna work. I'll figure it out when I end the stream. We'll see how long the first chapter is before I decide if I'm gonna do 2 chapters tonight or how I'm gonna do it, because I don't know really how long I want to stream tonight. It's still early. I don't know. We'll see. So let's begin. Let me know how it sounds so that I know if I need to turn it up or down. It looks like it might be a little loud. I open my eyes and the first thing I want to do is scream. I'm flat on my back and everything seems to hurt. The trees overhead look familiar. It's a clear night sky, almost beautiful, except for the fact that this means I've been out cold for at least 6 hours. But there's something wrong. I don't remember what, but something happened, and My head, oh God, my head hurts and a ringing in my ears. Was there an accident? An explosion, I think. I remember Dennis screaming, but after that, I can't remember. As I sit up, I notice that my hard hat has been thrown off. I look around the area, but it's not here. It feels strange to go anywhere without my hard hat, but I've got to find the other members of the crew. They could be in danger. Oh goodness, a decision already. I could search for my hard hat, I could forget the hat and search for my crew. I feel like better safe than sorry. Let's go search for our hard hat. I get up on shaky legs and look around for a moment. A few nearby trees look to have been splintered and broken at the base recently. They certainly weren't like this earlier. Searching for the hard hat feels normal. It makes me feel like maybe there isn't something wrong here. I see it behind a fallen log about 10 feet away from me. How it was thrown this far is beyond me. Driven by nothing more than habit, I walk over to it, pick it up, and place it on my head. Next, I walk over to the center of the logging site, and I don't like what I see. Oh no. The logging site looks like a bomb was detonated right in the center. I don't know where to start. The one load we had managed to stack on a truck for the day is overturned. The trailer bent and the logs hanging off the back. Where the hell is everyone? My head is killing me and this ringing in my ears. I can't hear anything. Not birds, not footsteps, nothing. It makes me wonder if I hit my head after my hard hat flew off. I run through a quick mental checklist to make sure my brain is still working. My name is Roger Hastings, I'm 41 years old, and the year is 2017. I own a small logging company, and we've been logging in this strip of Kentucky woodland for almost a month now. Okay, so my brain works. That's a relief, but it also makes me fearful, because something is certainly not right here. I look around the logging site, my mind trying to figure out what has happened. Just about every piece of equipment has been overturned or tilted. I don't know if going to the truck is a good idea. I feel like, okay, if the truck is unstable, no. Let's look at what's scattered around. There are bits of debris everywhere. There are fragments of the 5-gallon bucket I keep our work rags in, a loose saw chain, and an overturned gas canister. Had there been an explosion, all of the fuel on site would have started a fire. But there's no charring, no burning, nothing. I walked through the area where Dennis had been working. From the looks of it, he'd been moving slowly. He'd only taken down 4 trees today. His metal lunchbox is open, an indicator that he'd been taking an early break. But he's not here. No one is here. Where the hell is everyone? I could try to make a call on my cell phone, but its battery is already running really low. Not that it matters, the reception is crap out here. If your battery's low and the reception is crap, then there's no point. There's no point in trying. Hey guys, where is everyone? Tony, Dennis, Frank, Joe? But their names fall flat among the wreckage. I get nothing back other than scaring away a few birds overhead. Might as well start walking and try to find some answers. The highway is almost a mile back through the woods down the gravel road we used to reach the site. Maybe the crew ran that way for help. But why would they have left me? Were they scared? Out of sorts? Maybe I can catch up to them, but with my truck turned over on its side, it looks like I'll be walking. My God, I can't even remember what I was doing before waking up on my back. Wait, what's that? Underneath the bulldozer. Oh my God, it's a leg. It has to be either Tony or Dennis. The dozer looks unstable, like it might roll some more. It might not be safe to get close, but at the same time, I can't just leave him there. No. I mean, okay. If they're already crushed by a bulldozer, is there any point in putting myself in danger to see who it is? No. There's no use putting myself at risk. That thing could tumble again. It's pretty clear that he didn't survive. Damn, he had 2 kids too, both sons. In my shock, I stumble back, suddenly tripping over a stray log behind me. Wait, why did it assume who it was? The hard hat I'm wearing collides with it as I fall, doing its job. But what's more startling is the realization that Tony is dead. I can't stay here. I have to find Dennis, Frank, and Joe. I have to find out what happened here. didn't see who it was. It said it could be Dennis or Tony. And then it's like, okay, all right. As I walk through the stacks of logs from the last week or so of work, everything feels frozen. This high-pitched sound in my ears, it's terrible. It keeps happening every few seconds and sounds like it's coming from far away. I can't help but wonder, is it my ears or is it something else? The silence out here is creepy, and there's a smell, like the atmosphere after a bad summer storm. I might as well admit it, I'm a little scared. Everyone is missing and it's dead quiet out here. There doesn't even seem to be a breeze to rustle the leaves and branches. My right knee hurts like hell. My head was hurting so bad before that I never even noticed the pain in my knee. I must have heard it during the what? Accident? Or, wait, is that Dennis? I see him sitting on the ground motionless about 30 feet away. Well, oh gosh. If he's scared, if Dennis is scared, we don't want to startle him. So let's let him know we're here first. Dennis, I yell. Dennis, can you hear me? Dennis lets out a shout, like someone waking from a nightmare. He then looks back at me from the ground. Yeah, Roger, I hear you, he hollers back as I head over to him. Dennis is built like a wrestler, and he has a tough personality to match. But in this moment, he looks disoriented and even a little anxious. Though I'm glad to see him, the fear on his usually confident face is alarming. What the hell happened? What's going on? He asks. Well, I don't know, and the crew is missing, so... Missing, Dennis says. Where do you think they went? I'm not sure, I say, but it has me pretty freaked out. Something's not right here. Still sitting on the ground, he looks around the woods, as if he's just not understanding the severity of the situation. The equipment was overturned. The dozers, too, I say, shifting my hard hat and wiping my forehead. You okay? I ask him. Yeah, just shaken up. Me too. This might be the most intimate conversation Dennis and I have ever had. While he and I have always been on good terms, we've never been particularly close. I've always respected him, though. Sure, he's come to work a few times looking like he'd been in a bar fight the night before. But I've also seen him do an enthusiastic impression of a dinosaur as he played with Tony's kids while they waited for their dad to finish up his shift. It's then that it hits me. Dennis and Tony were good friends. I'm not sure I want to rattle him with news of Tony's death right now, not before we know what's going on, but he has a right to know. Well, you can't hear, but hi, anyways. I mean, that's tough. I feel like we should tell him, because I don't know. If it were me, I would want to know. And if he finds out and we're not the ones to tell him, and then he finds out that we knew, I mean, we could be the only two people alive from this entire work site, and I don't want to lose, like, his confidence in me. So we'll tell him Tony's dead. Ooh, that sounded important. You were upfront with Dennis about Tony. Dennis's eyes fixate on me, startled. He was crushed under the dozer, I say. Dennis pauses for a moment, like he's trying to understand what I said. His eyes narrow and his bottom lip quivers. Shit, he says, and I can tell that he's fighting back tears. He and Tony had been tight, almost like brothers. Hey, he adds quickly, as if trying to escape the reality of Tony's death. Did you see that light? No, I say. What did you see? I don't even know, Roger. It was like this flare of white light. It came right up out of the ground, like an explosion. So there was an explosion. Maybe it was some equipment, or... This was no equipment, Dennis interrupts, agitated. This huge ball of light came right out of the damn ground. Well, he just told me it looked like a ball of light, so where did it go? It just shot up into the sky until it was out of sight. When? I'm not sure, he answers, but I had finished about 10 trees for the day and was about to top one. That's when it happened. You were almost done with 10 trees, I ask. Yeah, he says, looking at the ground. You know, I wouldn't want to take a lunch break until I was done, and that's when that light blew up. Why, you don't believe me? Well, we know he didn't do 10 trees because when we were walking over to him, there were only 4 before his lunchbox was open. Okay, but this isn't the time to be like, you're exaggerating. Like, you only did 4 trees and you're trying to tell me you did 10. I feel like that's so petty right now with what is, okay, I'll believe you. I'll buy into it. I believe you. You believe Dennis's story. He saw what he saw, I think to myself. He has no reason to lie about this. My God, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, but if I'm being honest, it scared me pretty bad, and if it's all the same to you, I'd like to get the hell out of here. We both stand up and start heading towards the road. It isn't until we start moving that I see Dennis is wounded. His right side is coated in blood, the red seeping through his blue work shirt. There are splatters of it here and there, but also a very large red splotch that makes me worry. Do we want to know how we got it, or do we want to be concerned about him? I feel like how'd you get that injury is like accusatory, so let's ask him if he's in pain. I've been better. I don't know how much longer I can stay on my feet, he says. What happened? I asked. I'm not sure. I must have gotten thrown or hurt somehow from that light. It's then that I notice that the strange ringing noise is still filling the air. Hey, I say, stopping. Do you hear that high-pitched ringing noise every once in a while? Dennis looks scared when I asked him this question, and he just nods. I thought it was just me, he says. He looks out of sorts and uncertain. I've never seen him like this before. It's obvious that he's looking for some reassurance. Even though I'm his boss, there's something very unnerving about this. Well, I mean, it is freaking me out, but I feel like telling him it's freaking me out is gonna, like, freak him out. Because he's already freaked out that I can hear the noise that he's hearing that he was probably trying to ignore. Let's reassure him. Let's be reassuring. We'll be the bigger person. Let's be realistic, I tell myself. I might as well try to be empathetic. Out here in the middle of these woods, the ringing could be anything. Maybe a car alarm from through the woods or something. Still, even my passive comment seems to have reassured Dennis. He looks a bit calmer and more relaxed. We both start moving forward and don't say another word. Did you try to call Frank? Dennis asks. I know he had a cell on him today. Not yet. Luckily, I still have some battery left. Ooh, good thing we didn't use our phone. I pull out my cell and call Frank. Happy I didn't make that call to Dennis earlier. It rings, but he doesn't pick up. But then I hear his phone go off, behind the stack of logs. Dennis and I give each other a look. As the phone goes to voicemail, I hang up and we walk behind the logs to find Frank's phone on the ground, abandoned. We look around for Frank but find nothing, not a single trace. It's then that I notice something really odd. A 10-foot wide hole in the ground right near where the phone was. But there's no stray piles of removed dirt or rocks. It's clean, smoothly dug, cutting into the earth, wide, but only a few feet deep. It looks unnatural, like the ground was just deleted, no shovels or diggers used. Dennis walks over to it. This looks like the same kind of hole where I saw that light come from the ground, he muses to himself. I say nothing. My mind is spinning, but I don't know what to think. We need to get out of here, Dennis mutters. At that moment, the ringing noise carries through the forest again, sending a shiver down my spine. Dennis is right. There's something strange going on, and we might not be safe here. But that ringing sound could be a clue to where the rest of the crew went. Check out the sound or get away from here. Shit. That's a tough one. I mean, if we go check out the sound, we're technically getting away from here, right? Technically, right? I mean, maybe they went to go find out where... I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't take us with us to go find out where the sound is. I want to know what it is. You decide to check out the sounds. Something's not right, I say, and if there's a mechanical noise like that, you think someone is out here, he asks? Maybe. I think we should at least check it out. They might be able to help. Yeah, you go right ahead, he says with a grin. I'll be here waiting for you. Better hurry, though. Dennis doesn't look like he's in the best shape to be trouncing around the forest, but we need some answers right away, too. Oh. I ain't leaving him here by himself, because if they can help us, maybe they can help him. And then if he's here and I come back and... No, I'm not leaving him here by himself. You decided to bring Dennis along. No, you're coming with me. Exactly. I bend over and hoist him up against my shoulder. He resists just barely and then gives in. He's looking at me like he's terrified of me now, making a moan in his throat. We start moving through the woods quickly, with no idea where the rest of the crew is. I worry they could be in danger. Every tree out here looks exactly the same. I grew up in the country and can find my way around the forest without much of a problem, but I'm feeling dizzy. I'm leaning against a tree when I see something that has no business being out here. Our logging crew has been out here for 3 weeks, and I've never seen it before. Ooh. What? It's a small building, sort of like a mixture of a shack and a bunker. It looks to be made of concrete, but moss, weeds, and plain old erosion also make it look sort of mystical. It looks like something out of a demented version of a medieval fantasy movie. What the hell is this? Dennis asks. I have no idea. Some old power station. I feel like a power station would look like a power station, and I'm not gonna go assuming. I have no idea. We'll just tell him the truth. You purchased this land, right, boss? Dennis asks. Didn't you survey it? I certainly did, I say, getting a little defensive, but this wasn't here. Do you think the others maybe went in here? He asked nervously. Why would they do that, I ask. I don't know, but they aren't out here. If they aren't inside, they're probably dead, like Tony. He looks at the ground as he says this. I want to go inside, not just to find my crew, but also to appease my curiosity. That ringing noise is coming from inside. But something about this place seems incredibly strange, especially located all by itself out here. It simply does not belong. I wonder, do we knock or just go in? Dennis asks. I can tell that he's trying to make a joke, but it falls flat. I'm starting to think his humor is a defense mechanism for his fear. We both look ahead, take a moment to realize what we're about to do, and start forward. We get no more than 3 feet closer when Dennis wobbles. Let's just help. We'll just help him. I reach out quickly, straining my injured knee. I barely make it in time, grabbing him under his arms and keeping him from hitting the ground. Oh, at least we saved him. I'm okay, he said. Just, can you help me walk for a little while? Just help me inside, please. I can't deny him his request. I've never seen him this week, and it's a little uncomfortable to see. It makes me glad I decided to keep him with me. I help Dennis into the weird little building. The front door opens easily, even though there's clearly a lock on it. Maybe the lock was supposed to keep someone in. It's hard to tell. I still hear that ringing noise. It's definitely coming from in here. Stretching out in front of me is a small interior to match the outside. The building is totally empty. There's a concrete floor and dingy, featureless walls. There are no windows, giving the place an even more isolated feel. Still, we hear the ringing noise coming from somewhere in here. It's louder now, more prominent. The interior seems confined at first, but a small set of concrete steps leads about 5 feet down, revealing a corridor. Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. It's a massive corridor. In fact, like I'm in some kind of building underground. It seems to go on forever. This corridor is mostly dark, with emergency lights every 10 feet or so. I assume we're now underground because this corridor extends far beyond the walls of the building we entered. I realize that someone might not appreciate finding us here. I mean, I feel like we shouldn't dilly-dally around, but I also feel like we shouldn't be super duper loud. Plus he's injured. Let's just be quiet and just take our time. I feel like a ghost, like I truly have no business being here. Dennis leans on me for support. We move slowly, our feet not making a sound. If anyone is in here, I want to make sure they don't hear us. We tiptoe forward as softly as we can. As I carry Dennis to the far end of this otherwise featureless place, I see a flight of concrete stairs leading down. I have to set Dennis down on the floor. His weight is killing me. Dennis, are you okay? Stop worrying, man, he says. I'll be okay. I just need a minute to rest. But looking at him, I'm not so sure. I can still hear the ringing noise every so often, coming from somewhere in here. I look ahead at the concrete stairs, pointing towards them so that Dennis sees them. Can you make it down those stairs? I ask. He stands up slowly and is visibly making an effort to not fall back down. Yeah, he says, and sounds a little irritated. He starts for the stairs without me, and I have no choice but to follow. We approach the stairs, and by just looking at them, I get the same sense that we're crossing some sort of line here. There may very well be no going back. notice that they look aged. The damn ringing noise is somewhere below, louder than ever. I feel like I'm walking down into the cellar of a haunted house, the light becoming scarce as the stairs take a slight turn. I can feel the temperature drop. Dennis makes it a few steps down before he's leaning on the wall. He's breathing like he finished a marathon. I mean, we haven't heard anything. Let's let him sit for a minute. Let's take a break, I say, putting my hand towards his shoulder to help steady him. Dennis lets out a sigh. Thanks, I don't feel too great, boss. As we both squat down on a stair, my mind seems to lock in on the unknown fate of the rest of my crew. Frank is married, and I've met his wife a few times, a nice woman with a huge laugh. My heart sags a bit when I realize I might never again get to hear him belting out classic rock tunes during lunch break. Joe, well, I don't know too much about him. He's 22 years old and is considering community college. His folks are deadbeats, so he has been providing for himself since the age of 16 or so. Maybe I can still find them and still get to hear Frank singing in his deep baritone voice after a few too many drinks. After a few moments, Dennis says, "All right, let's keep going." We both stand up, leaning on each other. I have to make Dennis stay behind me as I stick my foot out in search of the next step. I can't help feeling like a child as a very powerful fear seizes me. I'm expecting a monster to reach out of the darkness, slicing into my throat. After what feels like forever, we come to the bottom of the stairs. We're closer to that ringing noise now. A door sits securely in the wall and looks just out of place down here as I feel. A sliver of light seeps through, illuminating the area. The door has what looks like a panel with lots of labels and lights. Small embossed print above the panel says Level 01, Entrance Gate, Transport Sector. And there's a button with no label. Let's see. Push the button. Yes, let's just start pushing buttons. Let's see what the panel says. See what it actually says. The panel looks like a diagnostic or alert system of some kind, each label meant to communicate some status. Lockdown engaged, experiment in progress, shutdown engaged. Those all appear to be off, but one of the phrases has a slowly blinking red light next to it, the only powered light in this whole thing. Abnormal entity breach. What the hell? I slowly push the door open when Dennis suddenly steps in front of me, taking the lead. "Let's go," he says. "I want to find out what the hell this place is." As Dennis walks through, the ringing or beeping or whatever it is gets a little louder. The door closes behind us with a click. I can't help but notice the wobble in Dennis's step as he lets out a grunt. "You sure you're healthy enough to keep going?" I ask. "It doesn't matter. I don't want to be in the woods right now." He seems scared, something I've never seen before. Angry, yes. Upset, yes. But Dennis is never scared. What did you see? Well, he told me what he saw. He told me he saw the light. What's so dangerous? "I don't know," he says. "I don't think there's anything there to hurt us, but that doesn't mean it's safe. There's just something wrong. It started with that flash of light. It's like it breathed life into the woods. And whatever life it breathed, I don't think it was anything good. I didn't say anything because it sounds crazy." I've been so preoccupied with my own fear that I nearly forgot about the ringing noise. It had just become background noise. We take a few more steps, and I can now see where we are. It makes no sense, yet another thing that simply seems out of place. The shapes and muted colors of metal are easy to identify, but it just doesn't belong here. Oh, that's already the end of chapter 1? It's only been 40 minutes. Okay, well, let's move on to chapter 2. Oh, it's so quiet. It's a overview. Respect the dead. You and 36% of players left Tony's body where you found it. Oh, so I was in the minority. Secrets. You and 76% of players were upfront with Dennis about Tony's death. So the majority of people told Dennis about Tony. Trust. You and 55% told Dennis you believed his story. Wow, that's really even. I definitely thought there was going to be way less people that like questioned him. Curiosity, you and 75% of players went to investigate the ringing sound, so most of us wanted to see what it was. And teamwork, you and 64% of players decided to bring Dennis with you. I feel like that one's a no-brainer. I mean, he's injured, so it's just like, I don't know, like, I wouldn't want to leave him there with weird ass shit going on by himself, injured. Like, that's still pretty close to neutral that I'm kind of surprised.